Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And I have a question for you all today, which is, do you think that XRP can eventually hit $10,000 per coin? Yes, maybe, or no? Put it in the comment section down below. And then I have a question number 2, which is, do you think XRP can eventually hit 589? These are two really important questions that I want to ask you guys because I need to get a grasp of what the community is thinking. And I asked this over on Twitter, and the results are pretty interesting. So when I asked if $10,000 per XRP could happen, about 36% of the people said yes, with an additional 38% of the people saying not likely, but maybe. Only 25%, or only 1/4 basically, said it was impossible and or stupid. That is quite interesting to me, and it really does make me wonder whether or not you guys actually expect it or not. To me, this scenario in which $10,000 per XRP can happen is only for two different parts. And please guys, I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video with, but please press the like button. There's so many people who are going to hate me for making these videos that I want to kind of, make sure the like to dislike ratio is okay. So if you can spare me a like, make sure you quickly press that button to support the channel. Okay, so I'm going to say, for my own personal opinion, there's only a couple of scenarios in which this could work. One, the dollar loses all of its value. So, for example, there's a Venezuela type of scenario where, or I guess a really long time ago, a German mark type of situation where the value of $1 really is all of a sudden a penny. So eventually $100 worth is now only having the purchasing power basically of $1, which would basically mean that $100 worth of XRP is basically the same as $10,000 worth of that specific currency, or it's the same currency, but the same, different sort of power behind a different real value, if you guys get what I'm trying to say. That's scenario number 1. And scenario number 2 is like some of you guys have been saying in the comment section, if XRP is really some destined plan all along where the elites or some other party that we don't really know of has been storing it, keeping the price down, but hoarding it, and all of a sudden, a lot of the XRP is going to be given to the United States government, which they'll pump up to eventually pay off their debt or some stuff like that. I mean, is that likely to happen? Not necessarily. It's not impossible, but that's basically the only two scenarios in which I could see it happen. If we're just talking normal utility, $10,000 per XRP is not really anything in my ballpark. I am more so leaning towards a couple tens of dollars. So if people ask me, which they really often do, Dusty, do you think $20 per XRP is possible? I give them a look like, what are you talking about? Of course $20 is easily possible. When they ask me if $100 is possible, I tell them, yeah, it might not happen really around the corner, but it's the same thing as people talking about $1 million per Bitcoin. It seemed impossible at first. It seemed so strange. But now that we've hit 64,000 per Bitcoin, it's like, well, okay, it's only times 15. I mean, it's still quite a lot of money, $15 trillion in market cap-ish, or even maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure exactly anymore. But it's definitely possible. And the same thing I think for XRP, all right? A lot of those prices are definitely possible. Now, it's when you start to go to 589 that things get a little bit more difficult. Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it's about to happen anytime soon? No. And do I know exactly what could cause the price to get there? No. But then again, guys, make sure you understand, all of this stuff, all of this crypto investing, there's a risk, but there's also a reward. With XRP, one of the easiest rewards in the short term is obviously the reward for winning the lawsuit, with the price increasing, obviously, but make sure you understand that there's a risk to it too, which is that you have to put up an investment up front, right? I am not telling you guys to invest in crypto. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I am telling you, however, that the people who are going to make it big are the people who bet on it when things are looking at its worst. It is really easy in hindsight to say, oh, yeah, if I had the money, I would have bought. Well, a lot of people don't actually have that much money, yet they bet everything to try get it happening, basically. And what I mean with that is, if it goes, XRP, to $100, it's easy to buy then and say, if only I bought sooner, but I didn't have money back then. I am the same. I've had the same thought. Because you know what I keep thinking sometimes? Well, in 2009, 2010, and 2011, I didn't have that much money. So even if I invested, I didn't have much money. Or 5 years ago, I didn't have as much money as I have now. So, I mean, I keep making excuses. But look at this. A Dutch family that sold all their assets to buy Bitcoin in 2017 says they're stashing their holdings in 6 secret locations around the world. These guys sold their house, sold their cars, sold their motorcycles, sold their kids' toys, and they're Dutch. They sold everything for the sake of buying crypto because they believed in that. You know how many people called them stupid? Specifically because 2017 went great, but afterwards it went really to the freaking floor. You know how many articles I saw of how's the family doing that just bought all their fortune worth in Bitcoin? Because even though they did well, people laughed at them for selling all their assets to buy Bitcoin. I really remember that time. And with XRP, you gotta kind of dig in there a little bit, right? It's the same type of scenario. It's like, it's really easy in hindsight to say, oh yeah, I would have also sold my stuff if I had a house back then. But at the time, people laughed at them. And right now, it's the same type of thing. You can buy XRP because it's still, in my opinion, right, in our opinion, pretty cheap. And eventually, you can be like, the laughing guy, basically, like the Dutch family right here, who made the choice, made the sacrifice, made the investment, made the risk, basically, or took the risk to try something. And we don't know where these prices can go. A lot of stuff is possible. A lot of stuff is possible. And a lot of these things will go way beyond our wildest dreams. And I have made a retirement plan like a long time ago. We have made some updates in the past as well. We've talked about this so often, like years ago when I made it for the first time. But every single time it came back to one thing, right? We don't know what the eventual price will be, but a fun fact is that when I was talking about XRP in 2017, all right, today I believe was the 4.5-year anniversary of my crypto channel that I've been basically doing daily uploads. I used to do crypto snippets, that was a longer time ago, but daily uploads we've been doing for 4.5 years by now. If you told me XRP would hit $1 in the beginning of 2017, I would have laughed at you. I was like, no. If you now tell me XRP will reach $10, I'm like, okay, sure. If you're telling me XRP will hit $50, I'm also a little bit like, okay. But once it hits 10, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, of course it's going to hit 50. And once it hits 50, I'm going to be like, of course it's going to hit 100. And once it hits 100, we're like, oh, of course it's going to hit 589. We just need to get to these newer areas before we can start to think about the next one. So right now for us, the most important area to hit was $1. We've recouped it. We are a little bit below there, but still we've gotten kind of some faith back in it again. And so people right now are all on the same line. An all-time high for XRP is most likely going to happen. Nobody doubts that anymore, right? Some people who doubt it, I guess there's always going to be people who hate it, but the majority of people are in it to win it now and they believe. And I would say for XRP at $10, the same people are in the same type of line. I guess most people also say it's really within our margin, within our area of reaching. Once we, however, cross that barrier, all of a sudden, people also start thinking about what is possible. Same thing happened for Bitcoin. Do you think that a lot of people thought that Bitcoin could hit $65,000 6 years ago? No, not that many people really thought so. Let's say a handful of people actually thought that because it wasn't really close at all. It was only when Bitcoin went towards 20,000 that people thought, Bitcoin can actually go to 100,000. And it will only be once Bitcoin goes to 100,000 that people will be thinking, yeah, it can definitely go to 4 or 5 million. Right now, of course, people are really euphoric, thinking any price is possible, like we're seeing with XRP. But I'm talking about the general public really believing that that specific thing is going to happen. We need to cross these barriers piece by piece. And if you're wondering about when you can retire, let me tell you guys one thing. If your plan is to retire with crypto, make sure you have a really damn good plan. I will definitely be making more videos explaining what exactly my strategy would be if I were to be you. However, it is so personal and so difficult. I made a little bit of an overview here, one of which I also shared over on Patreon, a little bit of a more beautiful one, but the idea is pretty clear, right? If you know your amount of XRP and you have a price in your head, you can calculate how much money you're going to have. If you want to retire and you're retiring with less than $1 million, it's going to be difficult. If you know what you want to retire with, you know the price of XRP that you predict, you can calculate how much XP you need. If you know how much money you need to retire, you know how much XP you can eventually gather. Here you know what the price needs to be to get to that point. Point being, there is so much stuff that you can prepare for. Not everything though, but it might be something for yourself to just kind of check out everything that you know, everything that you expect, and put it down on paper, because you'll be amazed how much your views are going to change over time here. All right, I'm going to do that for you guys right now. All right, I'm going to tell you. Go right now and put your XRP price prediction for 1 year, 5 years, and 10 years on a piece of paper, or to make it easier for yourself in the comment section down below. We'll come back to this video in about a year from now and see if you guys were at all right. And we'll come back to this video in 5 years from now and 10 years from now to see how right you guys were. Because trust me when I say that it is extremely difficult to predict how much things can change in the next 10 years. You want to really make it difficult for yourself? Put down there what do you think the price will be in 20 years from now. 20 years ago, none of the stuff which we're talking about today was here. Right? The YouTube was not here. Google, meh. Facebook, meh. Twitter, meh. What was there? Nothing. None of the stuff we use nowadays was there. And maybe it was there, but then in an infant sort of stage. I mean, of course, Apple, for example, was there, but Apple really wasn't as big as it is today. It really wasn't that big of a household name or whatnot. I can go on with that list right now. You know how much changes in 20 years? So ridiculously much. It's really crazy if you start to think about it, guys. We are all in a crypto mindset of everything needs to happen fast, but patience, time is of the essence, but patience is what you need. XRP/Ripple is on a mission to change this world, and changes happen over time. They don't happen instantly. And I guess we're part of a really big change, huh? We really are. If you really believe in this theology, you know, things take time. We cannot expect the value that is going to hit eventually. There's just no way of telling eventually what it can get to, but I'm extremely bullish and I'm holding throughout the journey. And to kind of get back to this one thing you should also understand is that retiring is kind of difficult in the sense that are you going to stake the majority of your XRP in a certain specific lending pool or protocol? Are you going to use a cashback card? Are you going to just cash out your XRP for fiat and buy real estate? Or what are you going to do once you actually get to that money amount? Or are you going to keep it in crypto and then cash it every time you need something or what? There's a lot of choices which come next to it basically, which determine your longer term plan. In my personal opinion though, I got to kind of think like a billionaire here, even though you guys might know I'm not a billionaire just quite yet. We'll get there pretty soon, potentially, with crypto. But I keep thinking about it this way. What can you do with cash, right? Cash is there to be invested. What billionaire holds freaking $10 billion worth of cash? No billionaire does that. Why would you want all your money in cash? No, you just need what you need in cash, and the rest you keep it in value that will increase, basically. So investments that will increase in value. All right, I talked for too much already on one little rant right here. I'm going to end the video off so you guys can just enjoy your day, hopefully. But think about what I said. Think about it really thoroughly. If you're looking for a place to trade on, make sure you check out Bybit. And I will definitely see you guys again in another crypto video later today.